you want to get it right. Impact signs, awnings, wraps. Hashtag any sign, anywhere. A great sign is a surefire way to get people through the door. At Impact Signs, Awnings, Wraps, we specialize in creating beautiful signs that capture attention and draw people in. Whether you're a business, school, church, bank, hospital, or event venue, we have the perfect sign solution for you. We make the process simple. From design to manufacturing to installation, our team handles it all. The right sign helps you stand out and attract more customers, so you want to get it right. Impact Signs, Awnings, Wraps. Hashtag any sign, anywhere.
Welcome to this special presentation of Knoxville Nights, sponsored by Impact Signs, Awnings, and Wraps. Live at the 64th Annual Knoxville Nationals, sponsored by Casey's, here are your hosts Blake Walker, Cade Higday, and Josh Gerlach.
What is up? Welcome to Knoxville Nights. We are live here at the Knoxville Raceway. Kicking off the 64th NOS Energy Drink Knoxville Nationals presented by Casey's. I'm Josh Gerlach. This is 2023 Knoxville Raceway Pro Sprint Series champion Cade Higday and one of the voices of the great Knoxville Raceway here, Blake Walker. We have a lot to talk about, guys. We are going to be recapping last week's 35th Xtream powered by Mediacom 360 Knoxville Nationals presented by Great Southern Bank, and also the Avanti Windows and Doors Capitani Classic presented by Great Southern Bank. And then we're going to preview tonight's Brandt qualifying night number 1. We also have a pretty great lineup of guests coming up tomorrow night at 2 p.m. We'll have Shane Stewart joining us. Friday at 2 we have Garrett Williamson, and on Saturday we will have Tanner Holmes up on stage with us at 2 p.m. as well. So we are live every day at 1 p.m. Guests will show up at 2 p.m. And make sure you're following us on all the socials. We have a weekly podcast that covers the weekly racing at the Knoxville Raceway. If you search for Knoxville Nights on YouTube, you can find us there, your favorite podcast platforms, or at Knoxville Nights on all the social media platforms. Cade, we got a 360 Nationals recap to talk through with you. Blake, let's get going, bud.
Yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to mention we're live on YouTube for those here watching at the track, and then obviously those on YouTube, you will be able to watch this back, so you'll be able to catch it. If you missed all the action, anybody can go back and watch it. It's kind of weird that we're here. We started this 4 months ago, and we're off and running.
And I'm used to seeing you on video screen.
Yeah, absolutely. But nothing changes. This is just how we're going to go throughout our show. So, Cade, 360 Knoxville Nationals last week. Let's talk about the paint scheme, because the paint scheme is actually pretty cool. You ended up running a paint scheme that Josh and I kind of helped design. I threw the idea way back out in August. I threw it all the way back pretty much when we started
That was
May.
in like March.
Yeah, March,
Yeah.
April. And that just kind of came to life. White paint scheme had like the purple line, same design as your normal scheme, but instead we went with purple lines, and it looked pretty spiffy. We didn't win Best Appearing Car, but man, it looked good.
Yeah, it looked really good. My wife gives me a ton of hell for not letting her put purple on my race car, but I let you guys do it.
Sorry, Maggie.
But yeah, huge thanks to you guys for doing that, and obviously a huge thanks to Ryan Levitt at Levitt Graphics. He's also got the Track Threads t-shirt trailer over there. Go support him. Yeah, unfortunate we didn't win Best Appearing Car, but Ryan did, so that's always cool, and awesome that he got that with the throwback car. Yeah, it turned out really good, and honestly a lot better than I imagined when we first started talking about it.
What was it like for you, Josh? I mean, you made a car and it turned out on a racetrack. Like, that's something like as a little kid when I'm making paint schemes on, video games, I'm like, I mean, that had to be pretty cool when you first saw it.
I did not expect that. I have not expected this. So this is pretty cool. And thank you to everybody that watches and listens, because without your guys' support, wouldn't be possible. And you were pretty fast on your qualifying night. We'll talk about Saturday.
Yeah, so Cade qualified 9th out of 45. In the heat race, you went 5th to 5th, B main 5th to 3rd, A main 23rd to 20th. We'll start out with qualifying. The pill draw was everything. Got a good pill draw right where you wanted to be. Is that pretty much what you expected, a 9th place qualifying run?
Yeah, that is exactly what I expected, and honestly, after what we found after Thursday, it could have been a heck of a lot better. We found some issues with our mag, and some things were wrong, but yeah, still to get 9th quick with what we had going on was really cool.
Heat races were hit or miss. I think a couple of the nights we really had really good heat races, and then it was kind of on and off. Thinking back to Thursday, I'm trying to think back to Thursday now, but
lots happened.
5th to 5th in the heat race. You started on the bottom on the heat race. That I remember, and that really doesn't help a ton. I have a lot of space to go.
And it never helps me when I start on the bottom. Everybody knows that I like to run the top, and got stuck on the bottom there. And honestly, our car just wasn't very good. And, we were honestly lucky to finish 5th there, I feel like. But, obviously unfortunate circumstance qualifying that good, and then you don't even make it out of the heat race into the A. Which set up a pretty stellar B main for the fans to watch.
Let's talk about that B main. It was you and Jack, and I mean, I thought you were going to wreck each other. I think you thought you were probably going to wreck each other, but back and forth sliders with Jack Anderson. You knew you had to get there. What you didn't know is you were going to be the last person in. Sam Haferteep runs out of gas, so then you're third across the line. One more lap, you were going to be out of gas. Can you explain that whole situation? Because a lot of people are like, well, did they just not put enough fuel in the car, or was the red and the caution did it elongate it too much that you guys weren't prepared?
Yeah, the cautions, normally we run like 2 caution laps, and it seemed like we ran 30.
Yeah.
It was kind of crazy. There were long yellows, but the actual battle on the racetrack started with Timothy Smith before I even got racing with Jack, and I definitely burned up a lot of fuel racing him.
Yeah.
He made a lot of the right moves and did the right things, just slipped up on one restart, which I did the restart before, and Jack just drove around both of us. So I was fortunate to get that one back, and it was a heck of a race. Jack was full send, I was full send, and then coming to the checkered, I ran out of fuel right after Sam did. Just lucky enough to get through that and end up not doing very well in the A, but at least we made it.
How worried?
I was just going to say it was pretty crazy, too, because I was waiting for you to roll back in. You know, you usually see you pretty quickly after the races are over, and you didn't come around. Tanner Holmes didn't come around. Sam was slow. I think 4 of the top 7 ran out in that B main.
Was it a legit concern you were not going to make weight? I know you were, because you were kind of joking about it with the crew guys over there in turn 3. I saw you chatting with them, but that was a concern.
Yeah, absolutely. Our cars are very close, and I'm not a super heavy driver, so we cut it pretty close as far as weight goes. And luckily we found out that my tank runs out at 3 gallons, so I still had 3 gallons of fuel in it. Otherwise, we definitely wouldn't have made weight.
Well, that's a plus. Started 23rd in the A, finished 20th. Kind of the story of this season. It kind of feels like kind of stuck, and we'll talk about the racing at the front of the field, but overall it was really fun to watch.
Yeah, it was all right. Our car wasn't very good, but that's kind of the story I keep telling you guys.
So in our A main, it was Chase Randall who led the most laps, kind of started on the front row. Chase really led the majority of that race, but it was just caught lap traffic either way. Good to see Chase running up front.
Sure.
I think he's just happy to be back here at Knoxville.
Honestly, I thought he was going to win the race. And, he probably was pretty upset the way that unfolded, because he did lead a majority of the race, and they were mixing it up from about 2nd through 5th or 6th for most of that. And he got to lap traffic, and you could just kind of see everybody kind of closing up. And, probably a couple mistakes here and there getting through lap traffic, and he kind of got swallowed up by AMAC, McFadden, Larson, all those guys.
I was going to talk about that with UK. The track it was bottom dominant, but the lap cars made the race very interesting. And I know, you don't want to think about it that way, but yes, the track was very bottom dominant. You had to get off the bottom if you were going to do it. Would you say that's probably what made the race that we saw last Thursday?
And how was the middle? Because it looked like there was a lot of stuff getting thrown up in the middle.
It honestly reminded me a lot more of last year. Last year we kind of had a bottom, a top that was a lot further down last year than it is this year, but same thing. The middle was always there, and it was always an option. So it was fun to race like that. And Thursday definitely the middle was a thing, and it showed its face.
It was an unbelievable race. I mean, just to kind of summarize, you had Austin McCarl who got past Chase. Austin couldn't get past Chase Brown, the lap car, showed his displeasure on the front straightaway as he was passing him. Looked like Terry out there sticking his arm out the window.
Thumbs up.
It was a thumbs up.
Only.
It was a thumbs up. But yeah, it was just a lot of really tough battling, and you had Larson get up in there, and you had McFadden get up in there. I give Austin McCarl a lot of credit. We know that car's been very fast, but Larson took a couple big stabs, and Austin just didn't miss, and I think experience really paid off.
I was going to say that. He ran second to his brother Carson at the 360 shootout. He's been very close to winning a couple of those races here recently. He won the 360 shootout last year, like we've talked about. He looked really good, and I think it was kind of a preview of what we were going to see on Saturday a little bit. And I also think that James McFadden, if they would have messed around for another lap or two, he may have ended up winning that thing, because he was right there on those guys.
Chase Randall ended up dropping from 2nd to 5th all the way on the feature.
With
he
like
got the bad. Yeah, he got the
like
bad
2 to
end
go,
of it.
yeah.
It was just you just couldn't make a mistake.
No.
And they always talk about Cade. You got to set up a run. When traffic's like that, there's not really a lot of runs to set up. But McFadden ended up finishing on the podium because he wound the thing up on 3 and 4. Is that kind of what they're talking about when they say in 360 you have to build a run instead of you can't just plant your car and go?
Yeah, and the problem with the 360 is it doesn't have the 410 power. Like when you slide somebody and you get up into the cushion, the 360 kind of bogs down and it kills a lot of your momentum. So you got to time your sliders right, and that was honestly, like in the B, that was the hardest thing to time, was getting the slider right to where the guy couldn't drive back underneath you, and that's what they're talking about when they talk about timing a slider right in a 360 especially.
Tanner Holmes looked really good in his own 18T. He ended up going 21st to 13th. That helped him put himself in the feature by 2 points. He made the feature by 2 points. I know he was we'll talk to him about it on Saturday, but I bet he didn't sleep well on Friday night, just kind of waiting and hoping. Great speed out of Tanner. Obviously, we'll talk about Saturday night. Didn't end up the way he wanted to, but I mean, for not racing in that car a ton, especially on big half miles like this, he's got to be happy about the program that he has.
And talking about experience like we were earlier, I think that getting the extra laps that he has gotten over the last couple of years has probably helped a lot. Cade, you can probably talk to that too. This is not the easiest place to get around, especially if you're not used to running on big half miles like this.
Yeah, it's a tough place to tame, and he's been doing a pretty dang good job of it. Obviously they pulled themselves out of a hole, and it was good to see him make the Saturday A.
Yes, absolutely. At the beginning of the week, for those watching online and for those there, we put 3 picks together, each of us, for each night. You could pick double. I picked Austin McCarl to win Thursday night. He did win Thursday night. What a big win for Austin McCarl. I know, the 410 hasn't gone exactly the way he's wanted to. As I say that, he's going to win a track championship this year. But
3 in a row.
It's still the matter of, still wanting to get into victory lane. He wants to win in the 410 badly here again this year. But, boy, a 360 win like that, I mean, he's had to shoot confidence up a little bit and to beat Kyle Larson. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, it was a hell of a race, and, I mean, he showed the emotion in victory lane. He always talks about how he
always
emotional.
says, I promise I won't get emotional, or I don't know why I get emotional. It's like, because this means a lot to you,
exactly.
Austin.
Yeah, and we've talked to plenty of guys, what that right turn means, and you never know when it's your last, and especially even if it is just a prelim night at 360 Nationals, that's still a pretty big win.
Yeah, just a prelim night that you had to beat Kyle Larson.
Right. I know it meant we saw Caleb Johnson back there. He was pretty excited for his 360 prelim night win last year too.
Even if you're a 410 guy, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's still
a win at Knoxville.
Yeah, it's a heck of a win. Friday recap looked like it was another really good night. We expected a lot, because the first night was so good. We're like, all right, here we go. This is going to be a great race. Still was a pretty good race. Ryan Timms took the lead early from Cam Martin on lap 5. Shout out Cam Martin. Cam Martin played the cards right, got in the perfect position and started on the front row. But there was a couple teams, Ryan Timms, Rico Abreu. Cam still finished 4th. I don't want to look past that, but it was going to be tough for Cam to hold them off.
They've been pretty good this year.
Yes.
Timms and Rico. I think what do they have? Probably 8 wins combined this year between 410 and 360.
5 for Timms and
I think 3
4
or 4
5 for Rico.
Yeah.
I mean, it's up there.
Yeah, it was a heck of a race, and props to Cam. I know Parker, when we talked to him for our Jetco trailer talk after the race, he even mentioned that Cam really made one mistake, and they're on kill, so you had to take advantage of that. And good showing for him, even throughout the rest of the weekend on Saturday as well for Cam. But we had a heck of a race between Ryan and Rico.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. A lot of sliders being thrown. The big slider was Rico taking a stab at Ryan as they went off into 3. They touched. It would be Tim's left front tire caught Rico's right rear. Just a puff of dirt, a slight puff of dirt. Clean slider?
Yeah, and I think Tim's kind of said the same thing in his interview, that he kind of missed that.
Yeah, he knew that it was he messed up.
Just kind of anticipated him coming up later than he actually did. Yeah. So he was trying to cut underneath him, and Rico was there.
Yeah,
they run the same motor. I do know that they run the same exact motor. So I mean,
makes sense.
And
how that thing was
so I
off.
found that out the other day, and I'm like, wow, this really now everything makes sense now, because the way that those two cars drive are very similar. So it was really cool to see that, and obviously Rico was able to take off and hold on for the win. Big win for Rico. Obviously, we'll talk about Saturday night, but I mean, not many times does a guy win the prelim night and then go on to win the feature. So I mean, it's pretty big. He was able to get a lot of points.
Yeah, wasn't a surprise by any means.
And he's not in a 360. I mean, he doesn't race a 360.
And I know you haven't
picked Rico.
Cade picked Rico.
thanks,
Cade picked
Cade.
Rico on the second night. So, yes.
I know you don't have too many laps around a 410 here, but I know we've kind of chatted throughout the season, and we've talked to other guys about it. But just kind of explain how, after you're so used to running a 410, around here, what it's like getting back down into a 360, and why, even though Rico and some of the other guys that don't usually run 360s, why it might be a little easier for them.
It's easier in some ways because you're going a lot slower and things happen quite a bit slower. The pace of the race isn't near as fast as the 410, but it's also harder, like I was saying earlier, to build runs and not get yourself balled up in the cushion when it gets thick like it has been lately. So super cool to see Rico get that, and turned out to be a hell of a Saturday.
Yeah.
The biggest coulda, woulda, shoulda of the 360 Nationals kicked off on that Friday night. It was when Giovanni Scelzi broke power steering in the middle of his heat race, therefore putting him in the back. But because of his qualifying points, he starts up front in the B, gets to the feature, and he goes from 21st to 9th. And just kind of set him behind the 8 ball again for points in the A feature. But, boy, the 7BC was so fast. And if it wasn't for the power steering issue, Gio probably would have been right there in the top 5. In a very impressive, mind you, first 2 nights in the 7BC.
Yeah, that was his first night
Yeah.
in the car, and I saw some chats. I think it was with Jeremy Elliott from Sprint Car Unlimited. He said that they're still kind of figuring out how the cockpit, and maybe you can touch on that just a little bit with the steering height and all that stuff and the different things on the dash, how just still even trying to get comfortable with that. I don't think any of us were surprised that he came out. I mean, he's a former 360 Nationals champion anyway. So
that car won the Nationals last
Yeah.
year, so
Yep.
yeah.
Passed a lot of cars between Friday and Saturday. And
Yeah.
What is that like when you're maybe jumping in? Because you had that experience earlier this year where you were jumping into a different car than your own. How different and how hard is it to get used to a different layout?
I'm sure for Gio it was really hard because he's been in the same cars for, I think, 5 or 6 years.
Told
in a
us he
row.
didn't even have a driver bag anymore.
Yeah,
because-
I'm sure he had to get one now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. Like the brake pedal's in a different spot, the throttle pedal's in a different spot in some cars, and like you were saying, the steering is the hard thing to get nailed down perfectly on every car. And when you get used to something and it switches, it's hard to get used to. So, hell of a run for him for going through what he was going through.
Especially with as technical as it usually gets here, trying to nail the bottom and stuff, even in the 360, you're still moving.
We move on to our championship feature for the 360 Nationals. Cade, you were in the B main. You started 10th. Just kind of went backwards, decided car looks too nice. I don't want to make Josh and Blake feel bad, so you pulled into the infield. That's an abbreviated version. Is that, just at the end of the day, car was not where it needed to be, and just save equipment. There's no reason tearing it up.
Yeah, and I think we were running like 10th, and I got a slider that was like we were racing for $100,000 to win. So I decided to save my stuff, and then shortly after, Tasker ended up getting upside down, and we were parked next to him, and they destroyed that thing. So I feel like that was the right move. We definitely weren't going to make it to the transfer, and it was an extra like $100 if I didn't pull off. So. Yeah, just definitely saving the thousands of dollars in equipment that we have to try to come back and be better.
It was so funny because I wasn't calling that B feature, so you pull into the infield, and I got my binoculars down. I'm like, is he mad? And I waited. You got out of the car, and I'm looking as you walk back into your hauler. I'm like, is he gonna throw the helmet? Is he gonna throw the he didn't throw the helmet. So I'm like, all right, he's not too mad. But no, just overall thoughts for your Nationals. Obviously, probably not what you wanted compared to last year. But last year, it doesn't get any better than that for like a first-time 360 Nationals.
Right, and last year, like the entire season was kind of something that we didn't really expect. And
everything just went right.
And everything was perfect for us.
Yep.
This year's been the total opposite. We've fought everything that we could fight. And, all in all, I've always said that I'm way too hard on myself. It was probably a decent Nationals, but obviously a lot lower than my expectations for the week.
And we had chatted too, it's kind of going through the sophomore slump a little bit. Look at the guy who just won the championship last year in the 360s, Jamie Ball. It felt like he was never out of the top 5, and he has arguably had a worse year than you, just because of the ups and downs. So
and he's won.
And
that's the weird thing about it. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's ups and downs, but absolutely.
That's sprint car racing.
Yes, absolutely. Rico was the high point man. We talked about that. I want to talk about Parker Price Miller here. He started second.
They were tied, right?
Yeah, tied. But because Rico finished higher, he got the benefit of the doubt. The second night, Friday night, got a lot of points. Like, I think Tanner Holmes was almost out. It was close by 2 points. But a lot of the Friday night guys got into Thursday night. I want to talk about PPM just real quick. Just really good speed with him and Bernie. And then Clint Boyles is helping on the car. He's not crew chiefing. He's helping out on the car just that week. I was very impressed. We know Parker's been very fast. He's won a prelim night here at the Knoxville Raceway. We had a chance to talk with him on our Jetco Trailer Talk, but he seems happy, content with what they have, and boy, the speed was there all week.
We talked about it with him on that trailer talk about how Bernie Stubjen and the Indy Race Parts 71 is kind of like a home for quite a few of those drivers, where you get back to it or back to him and it just feels like home. So they've had a really good stretch here. I think that they might even be a little bit of a sleeper come this week as well.
I'm excited to see his car. He still hasn't shown his car, but he did tell us, he's like...
I said I like the green, and he was like, then you're probably really going to like our
so
Nationals car.
So I'm really excited.
Hopefully it's the highlighter lime green. But like you mentioned with the Clinton Boyles pickup, that's a sneaky little improvement for that team.
Yeah.
Like he told us, if you haven't seen it yet, you can check it out on YouTube. Talks about how that gives Bernie a little bit more leeway to be able to go out and be able to be around the track a little bit more and not just be worried about everything that's going on.
Moved to feature time. Tanner Holmes had a really, really rough wreck going into Turn 2 right in front of the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame Museum. Something broke. If you go on his YouTube page, somebody in the crowd was recording it, and you can see it. It wasn't like a hard turn right. It just kind of broke, and then it went straight kind of up to the wall, and then it flipped over. It was a tough hit. I mean, I think Tanner was a little shaken up afterwards, but it's just a tough break, man. These features just get him. He was running top 5 a couple years ago, and then power steering broke, and just can't catch a break on these championship nights.
Yeah, like we always say, there's no easy crash at Knoxville, especially when you have no control over your race car. I don't know exactly what broke, but something definitely broke, and it just, like you said, went straight.
I think you mentioned maybe something in the steering or a shock or something like that. What kind of feeling is that like when you are trying to turn and it's just pointing straight at the fence?
Totally helpless. Like jump out of an airplane with no parachute. It's about the same thing.
I'll pass.
You can just brace. That's pretty much all you can do holding it there.
Thankfully, it was out of a corner, not at the end of the straightaway.
Yes.
Rico Abreu led the first 23 laps, and then things got interesting. After that caution, there was restart games. I mean, it was just Rico kind of timed it a little bit different. Larson would time it a little bit different. Larson's motor is not his motor. Like, they don't dyno test it. They don't do anything. He's talked about that in the press conference. And it just didn't take off. But it took off once. And when it did, he slid Rico, and everyone's like, all right, here we go. Larson was actually pulling him off that restart. I think it was 6 to go. Chris Martin has an issue, can't make it into the backstretch gate. He misses the backstretch gate. If he doesn't miss that backstretch gate, I think Kyle Larson wins 360 Nationals. He misses it, we get another caution.
I agree. I think that's just, especially the way as we kind of saw it play out as more restarts were coming, that was the enemy of Kyle Larson because they just could not get going. And he kind of got it to the outside of Rico on that one and really timed it perfectly and was able to get it running, like you said, to slide him. But, yeah, he did not need those restarts.
You've had your car stumble a couple times.
Happened last week.
Thursday.
There can't be a worse feeling when you're trying to get up and you know everybody's trying to squeeze between that cone and the wall. Hopeless. I mean,
it's aggravating too. Like my stuff's always been pretty good, and we made some changes just to try to make our engine run a little bit better for 360 Nationals, and it did the polar opposite. And Thursday night we could not get the thing to take off no matter what, and that's the most frustrating thing ever because you just watch like the 5 cars in front of you go, and it feels like you're just sitting there.
Yeah, and Kyle said it. Once it got going, it hummed.
Yeah.
But it just didn't have enough time. So then they go back on the other restart, and Rico knew exactly what to do. First, he timed the restart great. Larson didn't get a good restart anyway. Stumbled, and Rico was almost past him at the cone. As much as he could be on his tail, he was on his tail, and the race was over by turn 1. He was able to get past Kyle Larson, and Rico Abreu wins the 360 Knoxville Nationals. It's not the 410 Nationals, but it's the Nationals, and boy, he sure seemed excited. And I mean, why not? I mean, it's just been an unbelievable year for him and Ricky Warner here at Knoxville specifically, and he just figured it was going to be those two.
And speaking of Ricky, he mentioned him, saying that was another one to check off the list.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about decorated.
It's unbelievable.
Is a who's who with all those wins, and definitely Hall of Famer, and just another notch in the belt for that guy.
It's unbelievable. We had a chance to talk with him afterwards, so you can watch that on our YouTube page for our Jetco Trailer Talk. Really cool, awesome stuff. He also talks about the Dean Niddle Memorial, which was on the side of his car. Really cool thing that he's doing this week. Also just wanted to touch on Ryan Timms. Obviously had a great week in a 360. Probably the biggest dark horse that I don't think a lot of people are going to talk about this week. I think obviously you're going to see Corey Day, Kyle Larson, Rico Abreu, David Gravel, I think top 4. Ryan Timms, out of local guys, could be the one to do it.
Yeah, we'll get to him in just a little bit because I agree with you. They've shown the speed, and he has shown that he can get around this place pretty well. So, yeah.
We moved to Sunday, the Capitani Classic. We had 75 cars. That's the 4th most we've ever had. it's just kind of becoming one of those things that a lot of guys like it for a tune-up, but not everybody showed up. There was no Cole Macedo, no Bill Baylog, no David Gravel, which got a lot of people up and going. Gravel has not done this since 2022. I didn't really expect him anyway. I mean, I think it's just good to save your stuff, and they know what kind of car they have.
There was a stretch where Donnie didn't run it too.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, 75 cars, 75 cars. I don't think he was avoiding anything. I don't think anybody's avoiding anything. I know for sure Bill Baylog definitely wasn't, because Bill has had some tough breaks this month. But still, 75 cars, it's the hardest, and should always, I believe, stay one of the hardest races to get into.
Yeah, and it's hard to come from Peevely. I mean, it's, what is it, 5.5 hours from here? And
yeah.
That's in a car, not a rig. So it's hard to make that overnight trek and get your Knoxville stuff ready and try to go race with, like you said, 75 cars.
Yeah. Dason Pursley didn't miss a beat on Sunday night. I was actually very impressed. The Avanti Windows and Doors car ran really well for the Avanti Windows and Doors Capitani Classic. But Dason Pursley goes quick time. He was out early. That helped him out. And then he was able to hold off in the pole shuffle. We'll talk about the pole shuffle. But, yeah, really, really good speed out of Dason Pursley.
I mean, he's a winner here, right? So
yeah, and he used that car.
Yeah, it wasn't terribly surprising. And that car has run well here as well with Justin Peck. So, you know, might have been surprising on the surface, but that car has history of having speed here.
PPM and Garrett Williamson got together in turn number 4 in the B main. This is two guys going for one spot in the show, and you really want to be in this show. And Cade, what was it? Was it a racing deal? Was it a bad slider gone wrong? What happened there in turn number 4?
I will chalk it up more to hard racing, and a lot of it is we found out afterwards that Parker didn't have brakes, which makes it it makes it look like it's very one-sided, but he kind of couldn't stop the slide up if he wanted to. That's one of the hardest things when you don't have brakes, is trying to race around cars and not hit them.
Yeah.
And Garrett was not lifting. He was trying to rip around the outside of him also, and looked like he kind of got to a spot where he was like, oh, no, I got to try to turn, and it just was too late at that point. Took a hard hit. We even mentioned, because we caught up in the pits afterwards, the tail tank stayed on. We've had issues with that over the past few years. It stayed on, did not rupture, so that was good to see.
And I will say Garrett was mad, but he took the high road on it. I think his interview was good afterwards, and, you know, he kind of said the same. He's like, well, I got to look at it. I got to see what happens. But I think Garrett took the high road on that. And unfortunate to see, but he said they still have a bullet ready for this week. So I'm excited to see what Garrett brings to the track.
Didn't help after the long haul you were talking about. That then you get all that prep done, then you junk a car. You got to tear that apart. Makes for a long week.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the more surprising names, Justin Peck, didn't really have the Sunday night he was looking for. Kind of got stuck in the C main and really just not what he was wanting. Obviously, really good in the 360 Nationals. We expect that out of that type of car, but just wasn't his night.
No, and I think it's just, again, a testament to the field that we had here. You know, it's very, very hard to get through those heat races, and we saw that with him.
How about that pole shuffle? I tell you what, that was one of the better pole shuffles I think we've seen. Obviously, for those watching, we don't do the qualifying like they do at Houston's. They race, and they get to choose kind of wherever lane they start. Well, Rico Abreu made the pole shuffle interesting, I should say. Boy, when it's good, it's really good. And it kind of turned into, all right, do you want the bottom? And if you can slide enough to get up to the guy in front, you have a chance to stall the run. Rico just kept that thing humming on the top, and nobody could touch it.
How would you approach that as a driver?
Depends who you're racing against, honestly. It's a hard thing to – because you got to time everything perfectly to make it work. And if you make a mistake, you just don't have enough time to capitalize if you do get another run after that.
I mean, we saw Brian Brown take a couple chances, big slide, like way out there sliders, and you're like, man, this is not going to work. But if it did, you're gaining a position, which I think Rico went +3, I think, from where he was originally supposed to start. So I like it. I mean, last year we had no passes. Nobody passed anybody. It was all just chalk. This year we have passes. So
it's exciting because you could even hear it in the infield. When Rico would make his pass, the crowd was erupting. So it's exciting. And plus you had Wade, announcing from the stands, which is always a cool part of that too.
Yeah, always a fun time. James McFadden did start on the second position. He got past Dason Pursley early and did not look back. The Tarleton 21 looks so good. I don't think people realize, Tarleton's not a huge team, and they're out of California. For them to come out here to Knoxville and just kick the whole field's butt over there on Sunday night, that's a big testament. And they partied hard. They partied so hard. I saw back behind the trailer. J-Mac was on a different level. It helps that he is an unbelievable race car driver, but the car was absolutely hooked up. We'll talk about the track in a second, but the car itself looked untouchable.
I mean, what, they won 4 out of 5?
4 out of 5 on
West.
the NARC 5 fastest days in racing.
You know,
he's
his first 5 nights in the car, too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Back in America, at least. Yeah.
He's a 360 Nationals champion also, and he's run really well here during the Nationals as well. So, I mean, I was a little surprised that he was gone.
Gone.
Race.
Yeah.
He took the lead and never looked back, really.
Does that change after you guys watched that on Sunday night? Is James higher up on your thought process here for
and
this
Monday
week?
even, like at the front row challenge?
Yeah, well, yeah, he only went forward in Oski. Yeah.
I think so. I think the 21 is definitely one to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a dominating performance. Shout out Dirt Vision. Obviously, we're on the Dirt Vision stage, but Dirt Vision had an unbelievable camera on board with James. They had it with Gio in qualifying, but man, it was so cool to see that camera as he's going. I know they're going to keep trying a couple things, trying a couple angles, but that was really cool.
It's cool to keep pushing the production of these things because I think it also helps. We talked with Brian Brown later the night on Sunday, and just kind of giving fans more of an inside look as to what you guys are seeing. Because it's quite a different experience inside the seat of one of those things, I bet, than what you see up in the stands. Things happen really fast.
Absolutely, and I feel like if it was as easy as it looked from the grandstands, anybody could do it.
That's right.
What camera angle would you prefer? Like, if you could get one spot to put it on the car, where do you think, to get the true feeling of the speed, everything, where would you put it?
I like the visor cams. I just don't feel like the video quality is quite up to par. Like, you can't really tell just how fast you're going, but I feel like that's the right track because you get the mud on the tear-offs that you got to pull, and it's a cool view.
You can't see out the right side because of the wing board.
Correct.
What do you think, Josh?
I agree with him because of what I was just about to say too. You can't, you guys really can't see out the right side. I know some of you kind of clip the wings to help with that vision a little bit, but going back to when we discussed the 360 shootout incident with Carson McCarl and Clint Garner, you can hear them, but you still can't really judge all that well because you can't see, and there's no mirrors or spotters or anything like that either. So
I really want to see back toward the driver. I get you don't get to see out. But I love just seeing the driver and I mean, it's a reflex, but how fast y'all pull a tear off and then just go right back to the wheel, it amazes me every single time.
Or duct tape if you're Tony Ross.
If you're Tony Ross, it's duct tape that flies on your visor. But I'd love to see the hands. I just think that'd be really cool to see that. We didn't really talk about Donnie shots. I don't think many people talked about Donnie shots on Sunday night, but in some ways it was probably for the best. Donnie just did Donnie things. He was fast. He went out 27th in his group. He qualified 6th. Great speed out of the 15. He ended up coming home. Where did he finish?
Late too.
Yeah, finished 8th. I mean, I know a lot of the topic has been here, is Donnie going to get one more Knoxville win? Whether that be Nationals, but when's Donnie going to win? I mean, he's currently 27 straight years with a win, something like that. Don't quote me on it, but he's on a really good streak here for wins. Time's ticking. It's August, and I know he wants to get back to victory lane, but, for a lot of people thought coming into this week maybe the speed wouldn't be there. Really good speed shown on Sunday night.
You betting against Donnie?
Never. How do you bet against Donnie shots at Knoxville Raceway? I feel like the stats speak for themselves there.
They should just be very happy considering what happened in April and what happened in June.
Yeah, and I think the engine deal was a little bit of low-hanging fruit for a lot of people, but I think it's been shown that wasn't really the issue. It's just how important your crew is, and when you lose a Hall of Fame crew chief like Ricky Warner, it's tough to get over that. I know that they've been through a few now, but if Donnie's going to get hot anywhere, it's going to be at that place right over there.
Yeah. We did have Rubber, unfortunately, come in at around 10 laps to go, and as Brian Brown said in our interview, he's like, James was gone anyway. James was the fastest car, but Rubber is Rubber, and obviously, I'm sure the Duncans didn't like it. Again, go listen to our interview with Brown because Brian had a really good process on that.
He did.
Kind of the whole heat races thing. The heat races are so good. Unfortunately, you're just going to have to sacrifice one to the other, but I know the Duncans are going to try to find a happy medium. It's very interesting today, by the way. We'll talk about tonight, but the rain, we usually every Saturday we're getting rain, and just like this we get rain, but Rubber, it stinks, but it happened, and there's 75 cars on a racetrack. I mean, it was going to happen.
75 410s, too, at that.
Yeah.
We all know because we're here every week, but for the people that don't know, that's only going to aggravate the track prep crew, and they're going to make this thing unbelievable for the rest of the week.
And they were already a little fired up based on some other comments that were made last week. So they want the best show for everybody, including themselves and the drivers as well. And You brought up a good point to Brian when we talked to him about the tire wear, and like looking at McFadden's tire in Victory Lane, it actually didn't look all that bad.
Yeah.
Did that surprise you at all? Because the rubber came with about like 10 or so laps to go.
Yeah,
and it got pretty wide.
And none of the guys really slowed down to hit it. It was just kind of like,
it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were just running through it wide open. I know we saw Brown smoking his right rear tire trying to get get up closer to the next car. But, yeah, I was surprised that they weren't completely bald because even from the start of that feature, it was obviously slick because it laid rubber. But it was slick to start the race, and those guys just set an incredible pace. And it was fun to watch until the rubber, and then it was fun to watch those guys kind of navigate it and see who was really trying to get up through there.
And it's a good thing because most of your laps are here. You don't really have that much experience in the rubber.
Right.
You do outside. How do you approach that really to make sure that you are keeping pace, not getting yourself in bad positions? Because I saw Macri tried a couple times to throw some sliders, but when you're out of the rubber, you can see lap times quickly fall.
Yeah.
And if you get out of the rubber, you're in trouble. How really do you approach that to maintain your pace, but also not ruin your tires?
Like you said, it's tough to do here because we don't really get it all that often. But like other tracks, you can feel the pace a lot better. But Knoxville's so fast that you can run 5 laps too hard and your tire is going to blow up before the end of the race, which we fortunately didn't see that on Sunday because for some odd reason the tires just lasted a lot longer. And yeah, it was good to see that not happen as far as blowing tires, but yeah, it's really tough to pace here in the rubber because, like you said, you got guys that are willing to stick it out there and try to get that extra little bit out of your tire.
And Brown said he was going to run it till it blows anyway.
Yep. So. You mentioned Anthony Macri. He came out of the B main, ended up finishing top 15. So watch out for Anthony Macri this week. I know a lot of people didn't have him on the radar for Kings Royal, and obviously he goes out and wins the whole thing. So keep an eye out on Anthony Macri. So that leads us into tonight. It is Brandt qualifying night here tonight at the Knoxville Raceway. Let me just read off some of our notable names that we'll have here this evening. David Gravel racing tonight. Caleb Johnson, Chase Randall, Ryan Timms, Dason Pursley, Corey Day, Donnie Schatz, James McFadden, Rico Abreu, Justin Peck, Carson McCarl, Anthony Macri, Justin Sanders, and Austin McCarl. Let's start out with David Gravel. He's a 4-time prelim night winner, 2013, 17, 19, 21. Nationals haven't been too kind to David in a way the last couple of years. Obviously, remember a couple of years ago he had that struggle on his heat night or on his prelim night, had to come back for FVP Hard Knocks night. I think that was when he charged it all the way up to second and ended up finishing second to Larson. But, he's a Nationals winner. I know he would love to get one so bad. We're not going to ignore the elephant in the room. There is a lot of talk the last couple of weeks about him, Kyle Larson. It's the speed. They're just comparing. David would love nothing more to get off to a good start tonight, lock yourself in the show, set yourself up well. Because last couple of years, he's just kind of been 10th, 5th place car.
Yeah, and he's kind of just existed, it seems like, and that's not what he wants for this week. So it'll be really fun to watch him. I feel like him and Larson are going to be in the same mix with Rico. Yeah. We saw that this past weekend. But, yeah, it's going to make it very interesting, especially after the controversy at Eldora a couple of weeks ago. Just makes it a little bit more spicy and adds another element to the fans to keep an eye on.
We're talking about crew chiefs earlier with Rico and Ricky Warner, and he's got arguably just as good of a crew chief with Cody Jacobs, and they have a really good half-mile package and a motor that rips.
Won here earlier this year. Yeah. I mean, there's really nothing more to say about that. He won here earlier this year in pretty easy, not easy fashion, but looked very strong. So I expect nothing less.
The 8 invert is the great equalizer, though.
Yes.
So if he does go out and lay down a good lap early on, we've seen him go 4. We were talking about it earlier. We've seen him go 4 in the fluff and, just rip around the outside of everybody. We'll see how it goes tonight.
No special paint scheme this week for David Gravel. I was a little disappointed to see that.
Strictly business.
Yeah, strictly business. Just keep it rolling. Maybe it's a thing that you're like, maybe we should just keep it normal.
No scheme from Larson either.
No scheme from Larson. But ironically, the 1 year that he's run one, he has one. So
those low-budget teams, Cade.
Yeah, come on, Cade. Rico Abreu really hasn't had a crazy prelim night career, but he is a 3-time Hard Knocks winner, but I'm sure he'd love to not end up in Hard Knocks.
That's a great stat.
Yeah, I know, but he's a 3-time Hard Knocks winner. Everything this season has led to the Nationals in terms of, I hear 2 names. I hear Kyle Larson, I hear Rico Abreu. A lot of pressure on Rico, but man, the car is just so quick that easily is it's almost an afterthought. He should cruise through tonight.
Us talking to him after the 360 Nationals win, Did it really seem like there was a lot of pressure on him?
No, I don't think so. I mean, in a way, when we asked about the triple, the Cappy, he's like, well, he's like, I got a fast car. But it's like, I don't know. It's interesting because we know the car is very fast. And him and Ricky Warner have been here on a weekly basis trying to perfect this. So you don't put it past them that they're going to have it figured out.
You don't think they're going to be trying things tonight?
No. They might have been trying some stuff on Cappy night, just having some fun.
Yeah, it's interesting, though, because one of the Outlaw nights, I think it was in June, they kind of struggled and didn't.
About 15 through 10th, yeah.
Didn't really look all that great. So, they're going to bring their A game tonight. They're going to be locked in. So we could have a very good battle with, a number of the names that you just rattled off.
Donnie Schatz, talked about him. This is a stacked night. I mean, when you think about it, rolling right through it. Obviously, we know what Donnie can do. He's a 30-time winner here at the Knoxville Raceway. He'd love to just get back to victory lane. Prelim nights really hasn't been his forte, but he went like 20 years without winning one, and then he finally won one a couple years ago, beat Chase Randall for it, which we'll talk about Randall. But I mean, if Donnie's going to get it going, tonight be a good night, and he would love just to lock it in.
Yeah, it'd be a big win for him. I know it's quote unquote just a prelim night, but
win's a win.
Yeah, and after the struggles they've had all year, to get it here, I feel like would be very special to Donnie, and it'd be really cool to see as far as the race fan goes.
I was at the Queen competition yesterday, and I was asking all the girls who they want to see win and everything else, and they were talking about the drivers that they didn't want to see win and everything else. And I said, well, what if Donnie wins? What do you think the crowd reaction will be? And they said there won't be a boo in the single stands. Like, realistically, you'd think the whole crowd would love it if Donnie wins. And isn't that funny? That's just how life goes. If you're winning a lot, everyone doesn't like you. When you stop winning, everyone's like, man, maybe he's not that bad.
It's funny you mentioned that. There were some more boo birds last weekend when Larson was introduced for the 360 Nationals, I noticed. That winning thing, that'll do it.
That'll do it. One of the hottest drivers coming into tonight, James McFadden. We were talking about him just a little bit, but, wins the Cappy, runs really well there for Oskaloosa. I mean, the 21's going to be dialed in, that's for sure. And James has a lot of confidence right now.
As he should. Like, that guy can rip. He's not, he's won a lot down in Australia, so the bright lights really don't affect him. And if you see him around, like, he is a pretty chill guy as it is. So I think that he is one that you should watch out for tonight because – especially after the speed that we saw on Sunday, we could have a hell of a race tonight.
Ryan Timms, I know, he's been one of one. I think a lot of people would be surprised if he won tonight. We would not be surprised. I think that's just how it is. The Knoxville crowd has seen how fast Ryan is on a week-in and week-out basis. He's hard on himself. I mean, he wants to be better. I think if he gets that chance tonight, I think he's going to take it. Kind of reminds me of Chase Randall a couple of years ago who almost beat Donnie Schatz on a prelim night. I think Ryan has a really good chance tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. They've proven that they have the speed to do it. And, Sunday was – or Saturday, Friday, whatever.
Yeah.
All the days run together
One of the
anymore.
days.
Anyway, racing with Rico proves that you have really good speed. Obviously, it would be a huge win for him, and I feel like it would set him over the edge confidence-wise to know that he can do it for sure.
Yeah.
Like you said, he's hard on himself, and there's always that little question of doubt in the back of his mind.
Because I had stopped after Saturday night. We were in the pits on Sunday for the Cappy, and I walked up to him. I was like, so what did you need last night, in the Saturday night finale? And he was just like, I just needed to be better. He was like, I had the car. I needed to be a little bit better. And, I'm sure you have felt that way before as well. And it's just the way that car gets around here, man. We've talked about it. The motor rips, and he can just kind of point and shoot that thing wherever it needs to go. And he is another one. That's why we have him down here. He is another one that it wouldn't shock me at all to see him in victory lane.
Not at all.
McCarl brothers, Carson and Austin McCarl, both running tonight. They'll end up in the same heat race. They'll end up right next to each other. You don't even have to think twice about it. I know, obviously, Austin has been better in the 410 this year. Carson has slowly been getting better here. I think they're pretty even, honestly. I think both of these guys could make a run, and obviously we saw Austin sit on the front row of the Nationals a couple years ago. Everything's just kind of got to go your way, but, boy, I think the confidence for both those two is as high as it's ever been here.
Yeah, I feel like the only time they're not really all that confident is when they go to the pill draw window tonight because that makes or breaks your entire night.
Yeah, and we've seen Carson especially has really got – we talked with him, a few weeks ago after the 360 shootout win. They've just been slowly building that little team up. He said he got a lot of advice and a frame from his dad. So, especially on the 410 side. You know, he's an underrated driver, especially here, because he's a 360 champion. He's won, I think, double digits or close to double-digit 360 wins. Finally got his first 410 win. It was last year, right?
Yeah.
Against his brother, of all people, of course. He's really been good here lately.
Yeah.
I think he's barely been out of the top like 6 or 7 for a lot of the 410 features that we've seen. And, you know, Austin is another one, like you mentioned. He was on the front row just a handful of years ago. Has the confidence high from the 360 prelim win. He's been right there for the 410. He's just unfortunately been racing against Ryan Timms and Rico, who we've already talked about, that have just been really whooping everybody here.
And we've seen some fun winners on these nights.
Yeah.
I mean, Jacob Allen won this race a couple of years ago, and it was one of the coolest wins we've seen.
Had
and
a
then Shark Racing
sweep,
did it
yeah.
again, and it was so cool to see that for those 2 nights. So, yeah, that was really fun. Corey Day, I think, is going to be one that a lot of people should be keeping their eye out on. And for Corey Day's sake, if he qualifies near the front, I think he's going to be in a really good spot. He's really good at getting through traffic, but when Corey Day's up front, he sets himself up for a big runs later in the race. 11th to 3rd on Saturday last year was the hard charger. I mean, won a race. He's now won 2 races here?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 races here, back-to-back with the Outlaws. How can you not pick Corey Day?
It's hard to bet against him, especially the way the track's been this year with a really tall, gnarly curb.
That's his favorite.
Yeah.
It's his favorite.
It sometimes looks like that 14 is like the white 57. Also, like, it's a little creepy how similar they drive. Like, it really does. And
Now, I will say, Kyle Larson threw that slider on him at Oski, and Kyle was about 32 car lengths back. So
I think he was actually over in Omaha.
I actually think, yeah. Did you see the picture of a guy that put Larson? Like,
that was
put
awesome.
how many actual car lengths of Kyle Larson were there? Unbelievable.
Yeah,
But
that dude's not scared of anything. I mean, he's getting a NASCAR for a reason. He's a shoe and
finished second 2
Yeah.
weeks ago in a truck.
selfishly, I wish he was around here with us a lot more. I think some guys may be happy that he's going to NASCAR, so they're not stealing his money. But yeah,
And then finally, Chase Randall. Obviously, we saw good speed out of that car for 360 Nationals. I know they would like more in the 410, but boy, the car's been good when here at Knoxville. He's grit his teeth here at Knoxville. Car looks cool, by the way. Wade did a really cool video in a barn. I told him he should have had chickens running around in the bottom, but he wasn't able to get that in the budget. But, I mean, not a lot of people remember Chase almost beat Donnie Schatz, like good, fast Donnie Schatz here at a prelim night in that 2KS machine. And, man, he could put on a show.
you probably remember how good he was a few years around here, a few
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah,
both
how could
the
I
360
forget?
and 410s. This is, even though it is the Knoxville Nationals and the pressure is as high as it gets throughout the season, they're probably a little happy getting back here.
Yeah.
Because as we've talked about with numerous guys this year, going out on a national tour for the first time in your career, you're getting your teeth kicked in a lot, and it's really a roller coaster of emotions for your confidence. They know that they can run well here, and like we've chatted throughout the season as well with confidence how getting back to home is probably a nice thing.
The chicken feed is always good. Just
That's
real
right.
quick.
Friday night?
I mean, Chase locks that thing in the show. Chicken feed's going to be unbelievable.
Right over there on Friday night.
Yeah. Wiener Wednesday right here tonight.
That's right.
I said on
I saw the video.
I said on the Queen competition last night. I really didn't really think of it, but I was kind of leading in. And I'm like, and today is Wiener Wednesday. I love wieners, and I just really didn't think about that when I said that. But the whole Queen competition crowd was like, oh wow, yeah. So yeah, Wiener Wednesday is tonight.
What do you guys think about the Concrete King?
I think Anthony Macri has a pretty good shot. I think I'm very curious what his pill draw is going to be. I think he's going to be a very interesting spot. I think Justin Sanders is going to be really interesting tonight. I just kind of hung around in the top 10 last week in the 87 machine. I thought he was very content with how things rolled out, just kind of getting a feel for the car. I think Aaron's going to push him a little bit more, be like, hey, we can try some stuff. That car has been lightning quick, and I think if Aaron was able to race this week, Aaron would have been top 6
For sure.
for favorites to win this week.
And I know you have a pretty good relationship with Aaron. How do you feel like this has been for him this week? And he usually sets the cars up anyway, right?
Yep. Yeah, I'm sure it's tough on Aaron. Obviously he wants to race the Nationals, and it seemed like leading up to it would be the year that he had the best shot to do it. I know he sat on the pole one year, but the speed that they've had in that car is insane. And I was talking to Dittmer, one of their crew guys, on our prelim night Thursday, and he was saying that Justin and Aaron drive a lot alike. So it's a pretty easy translation for Aaron to have him in the car, and I feel like, honestly, like we've seen Aaron do it a million times, even with a not so good pill draw. I feel like they still have a decent shot to to qualify good and make it through the heat race and set themselves up for the weekend.
And don't forget that Sanders has put it in the show once already with Kevin Swindell and the Speed Lab 39 car. So he knows how to get it done here.
We got our picks for the boys. They're back. We're going to pick our favorites tonight.
Who won the picks last week?
I think it was you, wasn't it? You picked Rico to win it all. So, yeah you'd win. I won Thursday. You won. Did you pick Rico for Friday night?
Yeah.
So
I know I didn't win anything.
Yeah, whatever. Josh didn't win it.
Another guy,
golden sticker.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Another guy that we could look out for too, going to tonight is our guest on Friday is Garrett Williamson.
Yeah. I think I just saw him walk by here a few minutes ago.
Yep. It's kind of like I would say with Chase Randall getting back home here could be a good thing for those guys.
Absolutely. I want to do 2 picks for us. 2 picks each. And what we'll do is, I guess, to kind of help scores, we can average out. So we'll take average right in the middle, the median of the two, wherever they finish.
Well, he's probably going to try to take Rico and gravel.
How do we decide who goes first? I don't really know.
I don't know.
I'll go last because I won.
So whoever wins tonight's picks will go last tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, that sounds great. So I was probably second. Josh was definitely worse. So Josh will pick first for
It was
tonight.
better than Eldora. Okay.
You take one pick, and then we'll just kind of go around and we'll take our 2. We can't pick the same guy, obviously. So what do you got? Who are you taking for your first pick tonight?
James McFadden.
James McFadden. All right.
I'm not taking the easy picks, Cade.
I'm going to go with Rico or gravel. Give me Rico. I'll go Rico for tonight.
So you got gravel.
Yeah, I'll take gravel.
All right, Cade's going gravel. Josh.
Oh, boy. Give me Ryan Timms.
Ryan Timms. If I can type.
Shoot, I just realized I should have picked someone.
Uh-oh. I'm going to go Corey Day.
Yeah, that's...
Dang it.
All right, so Cade's got one more. Who are you taking?
Let's see here.
He's got to look at his field.
I do. I'll take Chase Randall.
Chase Randall. All right.
Wow, just leaving Donnie out there.
There we go.
I hope he makes me regret it.
Yeah.
That'd be a good thing for us.
I would
as
love to
Donnie
see the
fans.
crowd reaction, too.
Yeah.
I know what we were talking about earlier.
It'd be awesome. I mean, it is truly one of the best times of the year. I'm so happy the sun came out because, man, it was rough this morning.
It was.
I haven't looked at the radar the rest of the week. Hopefully it still stays good. I think it's going to be
It's supposed
warm.
to be good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I miss our 70s, though, from our 360 Nationals. But,
Yeah.
Josh, I think this was a very successful opening day.
I agree.
We obviously have a couple more days here left. We're going to be back here at 1 o'clock. I'll let Josh kind of take us out, but a lot of really good guests coming up. I don't know how we're going to fit tomorrow's in a short time span, but, man, we're going to have some fun.
I'm glad we have a little extra time because, tomorrow at 2 p.m. we are going to have Shane Stewart here. This guy knows how to get around this place. 5-time 360 Nationals champion. What was he, a runner-up at least once?
Yep.
Had a real good stretch in the mid-2010s where he was that close.
Yep.
And, Donnie shots. And then, like we were saying earlier, Friday we have Garrett Williamson. He will be over here. He's going to be coming from the Hall of Fame, so
Might be a little bit late.
Might be a little bit late, but
we got a backup just in case.
Yep, we do have
just
a backup. Hopefully he's locked in and is not going to have to talk to us about racing on Hard Knocks tonight. And then a guy you probably heard of, Tanner Holmes, will be here on Saturday at 2 p.m. as well. Lots to talk about with him, like with the content side. We're kind of getting our toes wet with that. He's been doing a lot of cool stuff with his YouTube channel and really grown a big following. And that's somebody that, we were talking about in-car cameras and stuff.
Yeah.
If you want to get behind the scenes of a sprint car team, there's really nobody better than that. So it'll be fun.
Yeah. Well, it's been fun, boys.
Yeah.
It's been a fun day.
Big
thank you to Alan, our
guy.
producer back behind us, putting all this stuff together.
AHV Productions, it wouldn't be possible without Alan. And if you guys want to follow along with us, I'm at Josh_Gerlach on Twitter. You're at Cade Higday. You're at Blake_Walker8. You can also follow Knoxville Knights on all the social platforms. Just search for Knoxville Knights. Knoxville Knights with no O on Twitter. Make sure you follow us on the YouTubes. We're really building that out. We got our Jetco trailer talk, so we're going to be doing
get another
every
one
night.
tonight. Yep.
Yep, doing that every single night, at least one.
Yep.
Might be trying to get some behind-the-scenes stuff as well. Got Jesse Douglas with Dirtco Media House. Jared
I'm ready to
Buckley.
get a day in the life of Kate Higday as a photographer, so I'm ready for that.
I need
It'll be a long video.
yeah, we're zipping around the outside, inside. Different turns. It's hard to keep up with them. But, another huge thanks to SprintCarRatings.com. A lot of the stats that we were pulling this week is coming from them. So big thank you for that. And if you want any Knoxville Knights merch, it's at knoxvilleknights.com. Otherwise, guys, we'll be right back here at 1 p.m. tomorrow. See you then.